to go.
Welcome to the Midwest Game Nerds podcast. I'm your host, John, and here with me today is Brian.
Hey.
And Alex.
Hello.
Today we're going to talk about Sonic Mania, Uncharted, The Lost Legacy, and a handful of game news. But before we get into all of that, if you want to follow us on social media or see all the places you can listen to or watch our show, check out MidwestGameNerds.com/links. And as always, we would appreciate your feedback at MidwestGameNerds@gmail.com. And don't forget to follow us on Twitch as well as rate and review us on your favorite podcatcher. Wouldn't be a Game Nerds episode if I didn't screw up the intro somehow.
Yeah, you know.
We shortened it to avoid that garbage, but I still fucked
it
up.
happens. We only do it every other week, so.
Yeah, anyways.
I think we shortened it so we didn't have to listen to it every time.
Yeah.
Sure.
We did get a correction. Last week we spoke, or 2 weeks ago, we spoke about some of the potential achievement changes coming to Xbox Live, and I talked about how I would have an achievement for being the only person playing Tron Evolution, and Nick wrote in and said that he has also played Tron Evolution on the Xbox.
We got an email too, didn't we?
Yeah. So, thanks, Nick. Thank you for the for our posterity and general correctness.
Yeah.
That is a true statement.
Want to do that first then?
The email?
Yeah.
Sure. I got to load it up, though.
The email from who?
It was from Tommy.
I feel like that's from like a year ago.
No, dude.
I'm always eager to know what he has to say.
We gave him a whole bunch of shit for not getting a hold of us in a long time in the last episode, and then he sent us this really awesome email, and for some reason, why isn't Gmail popping up?
Well,
I'll pull it up.
Or you're not talking about the one that we already read?
Yeah,
Did we already read it?
Tommy last wrote in a long time ago.
This is really good. We're off to a good start, guys.
Anyway, I'll take a look at things, but
yeah, brain
continue.
fart on my part. Anyways, what else have we played? Anybody?
What else?
Yeah.
Yeah.
John played Supercomputer Put Together.
Well,
I did that,
Brian
actually.
played.
Yeah.
I was spectating.
Oh, okay. How'd that go, Brian?
Very smoothly.
Yeah.
It took a little bit longer than I expected, but
So John has a new
smooth.
Ryzen 5 1600X build.
Not an X, 1600.
Okay, 1600 build that can actually play PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds.
It plays it really well
with
too.
some smoothness.
I was able to stream and didn't see any hiccups in terms of quality.
Yeah,
so.
well,
that's good.
That processor should be pretty good for that.
Yeah, it was, and I really like all of the NVIDIA software has like streaming stuff built right into it. Like,
yeah, I never realized how easy and cool that stuff is to use. I just like, yeah, okay, Shadowplay, cool, neat.
Yeah, I mean the Shadowplay thing is cool because it just captures all your highlights, like your kills and your deaths, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, it's funny. It's funny to like revisit some of that stuff here and there. But what was really cool was I just was kind of playing around on it, and I set it up to stream like just on Twitch. And I had never actually set anything up to stream on Twitch before, so I still don't know how any of that works really. I'm figuring it out little by little. But it was super easy to set up and get going.
It just kind of sets things up for you, right?
You and then you literally just have to like the NVIDIA stuff has its own graphical overlay, similar to how like when you tab out in Steam.
Steam, yeah.
It's like Alt-Z.
Yeah, Alt-Z does it for NVIDIA, and then you can literally like bring up the next screen and hit go, and it just starts going.
Yeah.
Like it's real quick and easy, like worked really well.
You can do that to screenshot in any game, too.
Yeah, and Brian said my headset didn't sound like crap, so that's cool, because that headset that I'm using is currently garbage compared to everything else I have, but apparently it sounds the best. So,
well, that works.
But yeah, that's all I've really used on my new setup lately. I was debating putting another first-person shooter on just so I can get back into the swing of using a mouse and a keyboard, but I wasn't sure what to put on. I was thinking maybe Far Cry 3. Just because I actually enjoy that game.
Yeah, I tried to load that up the other day, and it hasn't aged well graphically.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I think that's only true for people that have and care to own a GTX 1080.
True. It ran really well. But yes, it was just very bland looking.
Yeah.
Yeah, my bad. The email thing I was referencing was actually the one that the conversation with Nick.
The Nick one.
Yeah.
I'm still not certain that we read this Tommy email. I think we did, but either way,
I
Tommy,
recall reading
we love you.
The last episode.
Maybe, but
Yes.
this isn't good radio. So, Tommy, we love you. Thank you for writing in. Regardless of whether or not we have read it on air yet, we enjoyed it.
Yeah,
very
Nico
much.
wrote in too, and I think we spoke about that last time.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Guess we could just mark these as red, and then maybe we would know.
They're both marked as red. They're all
we
marked
get
as
so
red.
much email, we can't
Yes.
keep track of it.
People
all.
write in all the time.
Could just flag them in the email.
We're very selective about the couple emails that we read.
Yeah. What else was I gonna say? Yeah. I don't know. I definitely want to like load a few other games on just to see how they look. Obviously, I have to put Civ 6 back on because we need to play that some more, and that's gonna run better now, I suppose. Not that it didn't run poorly before, anyways.
No.
Yeah.
But yeah, I want to put a few other games on and just see what happens.
Did you so you in our last episode said that you felt like you liked PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, but the performance was making it difficult for you to get into it. Do you feel like that obstacle has been removed?
Yeah, because it's all I think about now is playing that stupid game.
Yeah.
Because like when it doesn't function well, it makes the game not enjoyable.
Yeah.
So you don't want to play it, and that was kind of the issue with when I first started playing Civ with Civ 5 with Brian and Ricky. Was that I was doing it on an older Mac laptop.
Yeah.
And it could run, but it ran
wasn't
poorly. And so that's what actually spawned me getting my computer set up in the first place. Was Brian was like, let's build a computer. Like,
yeah.
So
Zach's in the Twitch chat. He says that you should try the Destiny 2 PC beta on the 29th.
yeah, I
absolutely.
would definitely like to. I watched the European Dead Zone gameplay trailer which is all played on PC, and it looks ridiculous.
Yeah, it's in 60 frames at 4K.
Yeah.
I don't know
I
how.
watched the 60 frames in 4K video on my TV, and it was ridiculous.
I'll be honest with you. Like, okay, it looks really pretty, but for some reason, I don't know what it is. It looks less believable to me.
Destiny 2? Or
Yeah.
in general?
I don't like just watching the gameplay in
The
the PC. Like, it just doesn't look. It doesn't look as like immersive to me. Like, I feel like being in 4K and 60 frames a second is pulling me out of it.
So here's the thing, and it's the same. This is what happens to me with TV as well, and it was something that I noticed a long time ago with British television, like British sitcoms as opposed to U.S. sitcoms, is that frame rate difference is a big thing. The 24 frames per second or 30 frames per second that people usually think of as like the cinematic way to view something, because most of the time movies and things like that are at 24 frames per second,
right,
has a certain look to it. Whereas when we watch things in 60 frames per second, if you're not used to doing so, it feels like fast motion. It feels artificial. It feels weird.
It looked more like a video game to me.
Yeah.
Than Destiny did normally. Like,
and I like a 30 frames per second frame rate makes it feel to me like a more
natural.
Not more natural, because like the 60 frames makes it feel like real life to me. Like in the
See, it seems hyper realistic to me,
and that's yeah.
Like, it just doesn't have the same. I don't know. Like, there's something about
people just process it differently.
And I'm sure
yeah, it's a very subjective
yeah,
situation.
Just like looking at colors is subjective. So,
but like the slower motion of 30 frames per second is it's something that you're used to. I think
it works
is the
well
right
for some games. I always prefer shooters at 60 or higher if possible.
yeah, I'm sure everybody
I've never
does.
played a shooter and thought, oh, this should be at 30. But other types of games, maybe. Like, yeah, maybe not.
When is
though.
the beta open?
The beta's open for everybody on the 29th.
Okay.
It was open yesterday
Yeah.
for pre-orders.
It's only 2
Okay.
days.
2 days ago
Open beta. It's 29th, 30th.
Gotcha. Yeah.
for
I
people who
definitely
didn't
want to give it a shot.
Yeah, I don't know if you can preload it. If you didn't
I don't
pre-order,
know, I'll check the Blizzard app
Yeah.
when I get around to it.
I
But,
need to install that.
Yeah.
yeah, it doesn't take
Speaking
long.
of the Blizzard app, that was one of the other things I played. I did play a few of the levels of StarCraft Remastered,
Nice.
Me too.
and they did a really good job with that because it's like exactly the same game. They didn't take any liberties in any
Right.
way, even, which is also a little weird because there are things in my mind, like quality of life control things in the game that are not there.
Yeah, you got
They're
used
not
to
in the-
them.
I thought they were in the game. They're not in the game.
Right.
You
like-
got used to them from
Yeah.
StarCraft 2.
And I kind of forgot about like the like the max group limit is only like 12, I want to say, and it's like much higher in StarCraft 2 if I remember correctly.
I can only pre-purchase Destiny 2 right now. I cannot download the beta.
Yeah, I had that issue too.
It's not an issue. It's just I didn't pre-order.
Fortunately, the downloads from the Blizzard app are super fast, so even if you have to do it the day of, you'll be fine.
Yeah, whatever. That's cool.
But I was just wondering if you could preload. Yeah, and Zach in the chat says he can't preload it. He also wants a Warcraft 3 remastered. I see. That's the thing.
That one I don't think they're going to remaster, but they have, like, just recently they announced that they're going to open up a public test server deal for it.
For Warcraft 3?
For Warcraft 3, which means they intend to patch it again. And I think they are also going to add newer textures. So
like they did. So they did that with
because
StarCraft.
It's a 3D game, so they can upgrade it without having to completely redo it.
That's true. Yeah. I played some StarCraft Remastered, and it felt great because I played Warcraft 3 back when it first came out, and I was like, this isn't Warcraft. I want Warcraft 2.
StarCraft feels much more like Warcraft 2.
Exactly.
Better.
So I want nothing to do with Warcraft 3, but sitting down to play some StarCraft, I'm like, all right, this is cool. The music is fucking horrendous. Like, I wish they could have just, like, done something with
the
it.
StarCraft music?
Yes, it's terrible.
I think it's awesome.
It sounds like the shittiest like synth crap that you could possibly.
They remastered it too,
and that's a shame because they should have made something new. It's not
just
great.
turn it off.
I admit I like the music in StarCraft 2 better, but
I hope it's better than this stuff, but the music
it's
alone.
different for each race you're playing.
That's fair, but
it's like super cheesy for the Terrans because they're like space hillbillies, basically.
Well, and I like even from like opening the main, like when I open the main menu, I can hear that in my head right now, and it makes me want to gag because I hate it so much. Like it's
shut it off.
It's making me not want to play the game.
I think you should just shut it off.
But then I don't get to hear the voiceover. I guess I can turn the volume down in the options, but whatever. Yeah, so that's fine. I can do that, but it's just bad. I wish
for
they
some
done
reason
something.
I feel like you can only play StarCraft to like Prodigy or like like basically
Paul Oakenfold.
Basically smack my bitch up on repeat is like the only song you can listen. Maybe Firestarter, but
yeah, that would be preferable to what's
just
in the
a
game
lot of
to me.
Prodigy.
That is a problem with the music is there's like one track and it's not that long, so it just repeats.
So it
over
could
and
just
over
be
again.
Smack My Bitch Up on repeat. You could just
It's
there's
like
just one track.
it's like somebody who made Smack My Bitch Up into a MIDI form and then into an 8-bit form and then brought it back to MIDI somehow. It's like people who use Google Translate to like play the telephone game and then bring it back.
There's a video on YouTube of a guy who takes he actually recreates every sample used in that song, I think. Or no, I think it was in Breathe, and then he like he remakes the entire song like out of samples that he made. It's pretty
That's
pretty
cool.
cool.
Anyways,
anyways,
I
those have nothing
propose
to do
that
with video
John
games.
pick it up, $15, and then we all play a game.
Yeah,
or several games.
For $15
each with a different race.
You can't go wrong, but I'm looking forward to playing more of it.
And then stream it.
Just put it on my tab.
You could buy that one on your own. I'm not buying that one for you. Anything else, Brian?
I want to say yes, but come back to me because I can't think of it right now.
Well, I haven't played anything that we're not going to talk about in some other capacity.
I mean, we already talked about PUBG, basically.
Yeah.
Not much to talk about
Still
there.
fun. I got to 3. I played a game of PUBG at 2 in the morning, like 2 Fridays ago. And I got to 3rd place where I got screwed by the circle because I had to cross a road and I didn't do it well enough.
Yeah, that's happened to me. Crossing roads is death.
I think if I would have waited it out and paid attention, I could have let one of the other guys kill the other one, and then I would have known where he was. But coulda, woulda, shoulda in that game. So, but yeah, no, nothing else from me. I've been playing a lot of the stuff that we're going to talk about today. I've finished both of the games that we're reviewing today.
Oh yeah, Wolfenstein New Order. I started playing that finally, and immediately I was kind of thinking like, why the hell didn't I play this sooner?
Yeah.
It's pretty awesome, and I
I've-
hope to try to finish that up before Destiny comes out. I'm not super far in it right now, but like everything about it's good. Like it's got a cool story. It's well written. Oddly, I mean, I didn't expect it to be that story heavy, really.
The
Yeah.
reboot that came out like 10 years ago at this point was one of my favorite PC games.
Return to Castle Wolfenstein.
Yeah,
It's
it was
nothing
awesome.
like that
It was so
one.
well done.
Yeah, it was a good one, but it's nothing like that
Yeah.
one. It's like a total different
So
storyline.
So yeah, is this the first or was the Old Blood first?
The Old Blood, from what I understand, is like a prequel,
Okay.
but it's
But it
like
came out
it's a
afterwards?
standalone expansion. Like it
Okay.
came out at $20 or whatever.
Okay.
And I picked that one up too, but I haven't played that one yet. But then the sequel coming out soon is the sequel to the New Order.
Okay. So the new Colossus?
Yes.
Okay.
Something like that. Or maybe it's the old Colossus.
I think it's the new Colossus. But
Shadow
shame
of the Colossus.
shame we don't
No.
have a computer machine to tell us.
Yeah, it's it looks good too, but I immediately was like, damn it. Had I known I was going to get a new PC or build a new PC, I would have
Bought it on PC.
bought it on PC.
Wolfenstein
Because
2.
it would look a lot better on there.
Wolfenstein 2 The New Colossus is the name of the game. I think there's a Bethesda sale going on
There
right
is.
now. So
But it's not cheap enough for me to buy again when I've barely ever played it on
Yeah.
the platform I bought it on.
that's fair.
If it was $250, I would probably be like, yeah, screw it. I'm not going to play the PS4 one.
Yeah.
Just maybe they'll go free, just like Brink did.
No.
No.
Brink took a decade and terrible, terrible reviews. Not a decade, but it took 6 years. I can't remember.
Yeah,
No,
I don't know.
it came out in 2012, I think. Took 5 years and a bunch of terrible reviews for that game.
It
to
has
go free
more
to play.
players now than it ever did.
Oh, and
It's
I'm
free.
sure because it's free. That's how it works.
Right.
That's how free to play works. But
Well, and their reasoning for doing that was so that hopefully people buy the DLC, but
Yeah.
they get the game for free.
I'm
know.
surprised anybody on that team cares about Brink in any way anymore. But
Somehow they do. I don't know. It was
That's-
99 cents, and they were like, just make it free. Like,
Zach-
we're really making money on 99
That
cents.
game was a
Is it-
bummer because I heard so many bad things about it, and I think I tried the demo and didn't care for it too much. But I was like really looking forward to that game before it came out.
a lot of people were.
I think Pat was, too.
Zach said Brink had the worst network infrastructure I've ever seen in my life, and I believe it. I never heard anything good about that game other than it's cool in concept, but it didn't
Yeah.
come together. So, but it's free now, so
The-
everybody can try it out.
The other game, this was only free briefly, but that Shadow Warrior game was free. I picked
On
that up.
Steam.
I played it for about 15 minutes. Looks like it'll be really funny.
Cool.
Yeah.
I'll refrain from any.
In 15 minutes, I think
Accents.
I sliced about 30 people into bits,
Nice.
which was hilarious. But
Sounds like
Yeah.
Metal Gear Rising Revengeance.
sure.
Any other stuff?
No, I have nothing. I haven't played anything else.
I've been playing an app called Solitarica. It's like a roguelike solitaire game.
I've heard of that. It's supposed to be good.
It was $1 on iOS, and I bought it like the week beforehand for the $4 that it normally is. But no regrets.
There's no Metallica involved, is there?
Sadly, no. Well, no. Thankfully, no. I will say
Yeah.
thankfully because I can't stand Metallica. But anyway,
Not the biggest fan.
basically you come up against these monsters, and there's like a bunch of solitaire rows, and you're flipping a card from your deck over in order to try and eliminate the cards that are in front of you.
Okay.
There's different colors that give you different energies that allow you to cast spells and use abilities. So it's a really cool conceit to a very old game, and it's a lot of fun. So if it's still $1, definitely check it out. If it's $4 and you like solitaire and that sounds cool, you should certainly check it out. But I think that's all I've been playing.
Cool. Let's talk news.
All right. First up,
Bam. The Secret of Mana.
yeah, so John, you picked this one.
Yeah, is getting a remake on PS4, Vita, and PC next year. I don't know who all has played Secret of Mana on the Super Nintendo. If you haven't played it, you're missing out. But you can, it's part of the new Super Nintendo Mini Nintendo thing. What the hell do they call that now?
SNES Classic
Yeah.
Mini.
It's going to be on there. I'm really bad at this
Well,
today.
none
Wow.
of us
That's
will
all right.
be able to get one of those. So
Yeah. So, anyways, they're gonna remake
And-
this game no matter what. Which I'm kind of bummed because this would be a good one for the Switch. I feel like.
Well, that's the thing is it came out. It's already out for the Switch in Japan. It's called the Seiken Densetsu Collection. And
But
it's
did
out.
they redo all the graphics?
They didn't redo all the graphics,
Because
but
this is getting a full remake.
I
Like,
understand,
They're
yeah,
redoing
they're doing-
literally everything. A
it's-
new engine, new like voice acting, musical arrangements. Everything's getting redone in this.
yeah, it's gonna be a full 3D remake. But
You should flick that play button.
they should really just be giving me the collection on Switch. Like I
Yeah.
don't understand why they wouldn't.
I agree with you, but I would like if they don't give us the whole collection, like just give me this remake.
That's
because I would
fair.
play this.
So
Because this I remember playing this on Super Nintendo and it's awesome.
It's coming out February of next year.
It's also a multiplayer game, so it's
Mhm.
perfect for the Switch, especially multiplayers using the same screen. That's what this game was
it's
built on.
multiplayer.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
Interesting.
The first game came out as Final Fantasy Adventure in North America on the
Yeah.
Game Boy, and so that and Secret of Mana, and then the unreleased Seiken Densetsu 3, unreleased in the United States at least, is in that Switch
Look
collection.
at those sweet graphics.
And I would love to have it, but
That's
no,
pretty cool.
it
looking.
looks great. I hope it's cross-buy on PS4 and Vita because I'd love to take it with me too.
Yeah.
But no, I'm totally down. I would love to play this game because I remember watching people play it when I was younger and thinking that looks awesome,
Yep.
but I just never played it. So
no,
I
no Xbox.
nope, no. You know why? Because it doesn't
it's
sell
Squeenix.
anything in Japan.
Yeah. And Squeenix only cares about PlayStation.
Okay.
They only care about what will sell in Japan. So, but
Yeah.
it's cool. It's cool that this is going to make it over here. Like they wouldn't call it Secret of Mana. It would be Seiken Densetsu 2 if
Right.
it was only in Japan. But I'm super excited for it, and I hope it does well enough for them to be like, all right, let's localize the collection for Switch. Zach says, I love Secret of Mana though, so hype. Or no, excuse me. He said, I actually wish it was Seiken Densetsu 3, the sequel to Secret of Mana, because I played it with the English fan-made patch and I actually enjoyed it more. He said, I love Secret of Mana, though, so hype. Same with Legend of Mana. So
Yeah.
they would all be great. Give them all to us in some form. But yeah. And then, John, your second story.
Yeah, so, all right. This indie dev, whose name is Acid Wizard Studio, made a game called Darkwood that came out in July, and they've seen a whole bunch of people, claiming to be YouTubers or press, and they're asking for Steam keys so that they can review the game, and then they just end up selling those Steam keys on some of these, like, key resellers. I can't think of the names of any of them right now, but essentially...
Yeah, like G2A and...
they're kind of tired of that,
yeah.
and so they just put their game up for free on BitTorrent. So you can now go to Pirate Bay and download their game for free and play it for free. And all they ask is that if you actually do like it, consider buying it and stop buying from these reseller sites.
Yeah, so that was the main thing. Like the reseller sites are kind of pulling money away from the games industry, obviously.
Right.
It's kind of like it's kind of like GameStop in the sense of pre-owned video game sales, but it's kind of even worse than that because they're like directly stealing from the developer in this case and trying to get it out there for a cheaper price and make money off of it. So the idea that they're going to put it out there for free and be like, hey, we'd rather you have it for free than to make somebody else profitable with our work.
Right.
So that's cool of them to do.
That's along the lines of art for art's sake, in a way. You know what I mean? And I give them props for that.
Yeah.
And the game looks pretty cool.
Yeah.
Like I actually ended up adding this to my
Wish list.
my wish list on Steam because I saw it pop up at some point and I was like, I kind of want to play this. So I'll hopefully, when I get a little more money, we'll buy a copy of it. I
Yeah.
would pay for it because it looks sweet. It looks creepy as balls.
Yes.
I like
it
that
does.
creepy artwork.
Yeah, they have a quote. So I'm looking through this Imager post that they put up to kind of explain what was going on with the game. Somebody posted, this game is so terrifying I quit after one night. Its atmosphere is too much for me. Which is crazy seeing as how like it looks like is this actual gameplay that's top down?
I think so. Yeah.
So like the fact that somebody would be too creeped out by this.
Obviously, that's a prototype.
Yeah, that was a
Creepy
prototype.
at all.
But this looks really cool to me. So.
Yeah, I mean the sprite
Yeah.
animation looks awesome.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of nuts.
Cool.
So, props to these guys. What's Acid Wizard Studio? You know, they're taking a step that isn't an easy thing to decide upon, but hopefully it'll help them in the long run. Which
I hope so.
This is, you know, it's like they say, you know, there's no such thing as bad press, so to speak. So
Yeah,
even though this is an article about them
giving their game away.
their stuff away, they're going to get probably a shitload of downloads out of this and therefore gain popularity. So good for them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like this is a game that I might have heard about before, but now I'm even more interested.
I think I saw it pop up in Greenlight before they got rid of Greenlight or something like that. I don't remember exactly where I saw it, but I added it to my wish list.
I'm a little worried that if I tried to download the free one, you know, just to see what it's like, that my ISP would flag me because I'm downloading a torrent.
No, it depends on the content itself. They have trackers on those magnet links that
Gotcha.
watch that kinda
Anyways.
shit.
Yeah, so it's $15 on Steam. It is up there as early access, I believe. So, Zach is asking if any of us played Hellblade when it came out a couple weeks ago. I did not.
No, I almost bought it, but I didn't.
I'm curious about it, but I'm not that curious about it because I've never been a huge. From what I understand, it's kind of a God of War style game, like just kind of like a hack and slash.
That's not how I understood it. But
Maybe I'm wrong, but
the combat's a very small part of it, from what I read. It's more about telling the story than anything.
yeah, and the fact that that kind of got ruined by many people talking about it on the internet pretty quickly. I kind of don't necessarily care to check it out at the moment, but it's something that I would totally come back around and check out.
So Darkwood's like He Is Legend the game.
That's cool.
Or I Am Legend the game, not He Is Legend. He Is Legend's the band.
Yeah.
I Am Legend the game. Like you go
Interesting.
around and you like loot and explore the world during the day, and then at night you have to like hunker down and like set up all your guards and things so the zombies and shit can't get you.
Like all I heard about Hellblade was that the combat gets very trite and boring very quickly. So, but I do like good stories, so it's not something that I would be opposed to checking out. But
Graphically, it looks ridiculous.
yes, it does.
Like better than Horizon.
Yeah, that's cool. But anyway, Brian, your first story.
Yeah. PUBG overtakes Dota 2 for most concurrents on Steam. That's a big deal.
Yeah, Dota
'Cause
2's been at the top.
Yeah, it's well established in many countries.
It's like the
And-
reason esports exists
Yeah,
right now.
they just had a huge tournament, and it was like $25 million or something in prizes, I think.
Not including taxes.
Yeah,
Like
wow.
that's the take-home tax, or that is
Oh.
the take-home.
Oh, really?
Because
Okay.
Valve pays all the taxes.
That's impressive. So yeah, it was very briefly, and I would have to load up the story to remember all the details.
Well, basically, just the fact that like this is the first time, like this weekend on the 27th, or earlier today, like it just barely crested past Dota 2 for a little while, and
And then the servers crashed.
well, and then it's gonna continue to grow at this point too. And here's the thing, like it makes sense to me because PUBG, I think, is way more accessible than
Yeah,
Dota.
it definitely has a broader appeal. I mean, like a bunch of our friends that don't play PC games are playing it, and
Yeah.
or don't like shooters, they still play it. Everybody seems to enjoy it at some level,
Yeah.
even if it's more like how you enjoy it, like that it's like a curiosity.
Mm-hmm. And well, I think it's easier to digest too. Like you don't need people to tell you what's going on in it necessarily. Although I heard there's a lot of streams starting up where it's just people watching other people's streams to commentate on what's happening in the game.
That's weird.
And so
How far is that going to go? Are there going to be people
commentating on the commentating?
commentators
Yeah,
commentating on
potentially. That could happen. We could be the first commentating on commentators.
Yeah,
PUBG.
I think we're going to start that.
Yeah.
You heard it first here.
But the fact that you can watch it and understand what's going on easily, whereas Dota,
Yeah, it's a simple concept. There's 100 people. You want to be the last one to survive. Done.
you pick up guns and you shoot people.
Find stuff, hide, shoot.
Yeah. There's no feeding. There's no lanes. There's no cooldowns.
Yeah, there's not
there's
like
kind
a
of
thousand
cooldowns.
different hero
Heroes.
characters to play or whatever.
So it totally makes
With
sense.
all of their own counters and stuff.
And I think it's awesome that it's fine. Like, it's cool that the top game in like the Steam count would maybe be a game that's not made by Valve for once.
Well,
Consistently.
I mean,
even.
and it's a game that started as a mod, didn't it?
Yeah.
Similar to Dota, wasn't Dota a mod as well, or League
Yeah,
of
it
Legends was?
No, Dota
No,
was. too.
Dota is like, it was a Warcraft 3 mod.
It's kind of funny how that works out, right? Like a mod becomes more popular than the original game, and is now like
Dota 2 and Counter Strike are both based on mods.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, is that you get people
And PUBG.
You get people to go and iterate on ideas and be inventive. Like, the mods have the ability to be inventive, whereas it's difficult for somebody to come out and say, Blizzard can't come out and say, here's our experimental Warcraft 3. Like, that's a much riskier proposition than a dude that's like, I'm going to sit here and build this thing over months with people that are going to check it out, and I can incorporate their feedback and make it something people actually want to play.
Right.
That's cool.
I will say back in the days of Quake, like when I first played Quake, I'm like, this is cool that deathmatch can finally be played on the internet.
Yeah.
That's cool. And then I accidentally found the CTF mod, and I was like, this is it. That's like all I want to play.
CTF meaning capture the flag.
Yes,
for those
capture
of you.
flag.
But yeah, well, I mean, yeah. The first time I
that
played,
became like a staple of every major release game for the longest time.
the first time I played Capture the Flag on Team Fortress Classic, I fell in love, and like that is still my favorite way to play a multiplayer game, is Capture the Flag.
Yeah, but it's a very simple concept, and it just works.
Zach said, PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds is actually a mod created from a mod, because it all started with the DayZ mod Arma. A mod for Arma, which led to the Battle Royale mod.
It's funny, that explains all the inbreds that play the game.
What?
What?
Oh, whatever.
It's just all inbred, the people.
Okay.
That doesn't make sense.
That's a good one. Yeah.
I don't know, man. When you start a game and you pop up in the field where you're not even on the plane yet, and you just open up to some dude like punching you in the face repeatedly. I don't know. The people that play that, like, I don't know.
Well,
I am one of those people now.
No,
I realize
yeah.
this.
So
It's
we're
just
a bunch of your friends.
Like the main thing
You're
is
calling
like
us
funny.
inbred?
Yes.
when you're waiting for the game to start, like the best thing to do, like, yeah, you can go and fuck around and punch people and jump off the plane and do all that dumb stuff, or you can sit there and use the people that are running around as target practice with the guns,
That's
which is
what
what
I
I
usually
usually
do.
try to do. But
Or explore that little island.
or I just try to shoot Brian in the head as
Yeah, but
much
then
as I
you
can.
just you got to turn off all the speech because
Oh, yeah.
I
oh
did.
my god, it's
That
just
almost
like,
made me stop playing the game when I first played it.
It's like walking into a daycare where there's no rules.
Yeah.
And if
But-
somehow, I don't know what kind of microphones these people use on the internet, but there's always like this one guy that's like 4 times the volume of everyone else.
Yeah, somehow they figured out to like rip the speaker out of a Burger King drive-through from 1985, and they've wired it up to their computer. It's like, yeah, that's yep.
The next time somebody does it, I'm just gonna be like, yes, I'll take an order of fries and some chicken tenders with ranch, please.
Yes. Yep. Anyway, that's cool.
What else do I have?
Your
here?
second story is up here now.
Oh, okay, yeah. HTC Vive gets a $200 price cut to compete a bit with the Rift.
Yes,
It's
it is now
200.
the MSRP. No, it's $100 more expensive than the Rift still, because the Rift has been on sale this summer for $400 with the touch controllers,
Yeah.
but it was only $100 permanent price cut and $100 temporary price cut.
It's normally 600.
It is now normally $500.
Okay.
So the Rift is $500 with the touch controllers. The Vive is now $600 with the controllers and also lighthouses to make it true room scale. So you get the 2 lighthouses that you set up on opposite ends of the room. But
they suggest three sensors for the Rift.
For the Rift
room
to make
scale,
it actual room
But you do
scale.
not need 3 sensors for room scale.
You
can
just
still
can't
do it with 2.
Yeah, the main thing is that you can't there might be times where you go to turn around with 2 sensors and you will block your controllers from being.
If you have an open enough space, you can do the sensors that face each other diagonally across the room, which is their experimental way of doing it.
Which
but
is
it does
also
actually work, from what I understand.
All right, what's my minimum investment at this point?
To get a Rift?
Yeah.
Or a Vive?
To get a Vive and video card, because that can run it.
You're looking at getting a 1070, which is going to be
1070 at
430-ish.
430 was the cheapest one I could find recently.
And then you're spending right now. Is the Rift still on sale? Let me take a look.
So I'm like $1,000 in.
You're about $900 to $1,000 in the hole to get that VR.
I'm pretty sure the 470.
All I want to do is play King Spray.
The
That's
1070 when it came out, I'm pretty sure was sub 400. But it went up.
Yeah. That's a whole nother.
I just want to play King Spray. I just want to play the graffiti simulator. I want to paint some train cars without getting arrested.
Rift plus touch is still $399, so you're looking at about $830 minus tax.
Yeah, I mean, there's trade-offs outside of politics and who owns what.
Yeah, you will not be able to play Fallout 4.
From what I understand, yes, that's true. None of the Bethesda stuff seems to be.
That's stupid.
Like Doom VFR is not going to support the Rift either. I'm guessing there are going to be workarounds for that.
There probably will. Yeah, I would assume so.
Because it's PC, usually problems can be solved third party somehow.
They figured out how to run Oculus games with the Rift and Vive games with the Rift and Rift games with the Vive months ago, but I think they're going to try and do a little bit more with Fallout because it's a vindictive fuck you to Oculus, but I'm sure somebody will figure it out.
Yeah, as far as functionality goes, I hear the Vive is a bit better, but the Rift has included sound, which is actually pretty good.
Yeah.
It has better controllers. The touch controllers better from what everybody says they are.
Yeah, the hardware, the build of the hardware I've heard
is lighter and more comfortable, I hear too.
Is best with the Oculus.
But the Vive is getting that crazy grip controller, isn't it?
Oculus could as well. Like, I think they showed off some kind of prototype something, but I can't remember what it was. So that is being worked on by Facebook.
That's one of the coolest things I've seen for VR is the ability to like pick up and put down things and actually grasp them.
Yeah, like they'll have sensors on your knuckles. So
that's just
too
cool.
Yeah, but that's still who knows how far out that
if you just want to pick up and grasp things, the touch controllers are good enough. If you want to be able to pick things up with one finger, you're gonna need those. Yes.
It raises the immersion more to be able to manipulate an actual hand. It's kind of like the whole.
Like what if you were playing the Batman game and they pretend they added this ability to the PlayStation VR and you could actually grip someone's neck as Batman and kill them.
Well, and the only thing with that is kind of what the argument that LucasArts put out against making a lightsaber game for the Wii when it first came out was that you don't necessarily have the ability to stop. Like if 2 lightsabers are coming at each other and you're controlling one of them and they clash, you as the player are still going to push through that in real life. You will not be able to have that haptic feedback to actually hit something. So you won't necessarily feel that throat in your hands. We're getting real creepy now.
We all know we would
I hope nobody just
everyone.
started watching us, but
Yeah, but if you're using force choke from across the room, you're not going to feel it anyway.
No, and that's true. So it'd be sweet for Star Wars, but the idea that you're gonna like actually choke somebody's
that's
like
different.
you're gonna have to have Brian stand in for you, and you can do it that way.
Choke simulator doll.
No,
It's
I
another
can't move my
peripheral that you
neck.
have to buy. It's $10,000 though. It's
I
just one
think-
of those like boxing buddies that's on a big stand.
Well, there is haptic feedback research that I'm sure would lead to that someday, where they would be able to program the idea that you could not constrict the glove far enough.
Right.
But
Since we're talking about VR, I did mess around with the space station. It was like the ISS thing. It's like a free thing
oh,
where you just like float around the space station
that's awesome.
and like look at shit. It's actually pretty cool. Yeah, it's all
Right on.
I hope that comes to PSVR.
The
if
zero
it
G is
hasn't already.
cool, but it's not as seamless as it is on Echo Arena.
Okay,
But it still works well. It's cool.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
But anyway, VR is getting more affordable by the month.
Leaps and bounds.
So I still don't know. Like as we said, John's gonna have to spend $1,000 on top of the $400 that he just spent building a new computer, which is also like
yeah.
like it's still a lot of money.
I don't want to talk about how much I'm in the hole.
Yeah,
Yeah.
mine was also very expensive.
That's why I haven't turned my Xbox on in like 3 months because
Yep.
I feel like I need to use my
You're,
computer.
you're justifying everything you purchased. Yeah. So next up, I had two downers of stories, one of which is Crackdown 3 has been delayed to 2018.
Wah, wah.
Originally announced.
Speaking of Xbox,
Originally announced at the E3 of 2014, I believe, and expected for 2016. It is now not going to be out until at least spring of 2018. So that's a bummer. I'm still waiting for a non-Halo, non-Gears of War Xbox exclusive.
I just assume nobody cares
I'm
anymore.
still waiting to see enough to see whether I care to play the game at all.
I think, well, that's the thing is that I remember people that liked Crackdown 1 and didn't
I
like Crackdown 2
tried
because
one of
nobody
them.
liked Crackdown 2, apparently.
I think
but
it was the original Crackdown I tried, and I didn't really get into it.
I remember listening to different podcasts and things on after E3 and people just being like, this doesn't really feel that great or new. It feels like more Crackdown, but the game's been in development for over 3 years, and
Right.
there hasn't been a Crackdown game in like
Yeah.
almost a decade.
Unlike games that have been delayed a lot, like Sea of Thieves, where every time I see it, I just want to play it more.
yeah.
I don't know what's going on with this game. It's
I mean,
a little troublesome.
It's cool that you kind of cast Terry Crews in the game,
I just want him to ride around on a horse,
and that
Shirtless.
would be great. But other than that,
trying to spin the virtues
like,
of
you know
Old
what?
Spice.
I'm happy they're taking more time if it means they're gonna make a good game. That's all I have to say about it.
Yeah, we say
I
that
hope,
now, but I feel like everyone's just going to be disappointed no matter what at this point.
I hope it's good. I hope they take the time to make it worthwhile, and we'll see what comes in 2018.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then the other downer that I had to talk about, EA has announced that Mass Effect Andromeda will no longer get any more patches, and it certainly will not have any single player DLC.
Wah, wah, wah.
Not extremely surprising given the news of the past couple months since release of Mass Effect Andromeda. They also did not sell a season pass for the game because I think they kind of were wondering if the game would sell well enough to warrant single player DLC, but
Did it? I don't know.
what?
Did the game sell well?
I don't think so. Not enough to warrant any single player DLC apparently. But from all indications, I think it undersold.
A lot of people I know bought it.
Yeah. I know some people who bought it. I don't necessarily know anybody that ended up extremely happy
I
with
know.
it.
I just
but
know you guys
I think
bought it.
only one person that's finished it, and that would be Zach.
I didn't buy it. I did not buy it. I only played the
Oh, that's
two
right.
2.5 minutes of a trial on EA Origins.
That's right.
Yeah. Not a good indicator of the rest of the game, but it's we don't need to revisit that.
It wasn't the story wasn't the problem. I was intrigued by the story. It was everything else. But I've heard that the patches have gone a long way to making it look better and feel better and play better. But
Too little, too late.
Zach says I 100%ed Andromeda and hit gold tier in multiplayer. So congratulations, Zach.
I feel like
Now finish
That
The
would
Witcher.
that would be on your Xbox achievements because you might be the only person who's done that.
If
I
you
feel
can
like-
100% The Witcher, that's a lifetime achievement.
Andromeda is one of those games that was totally rushed.
Zach says it was disappointing mostly.
Yeah,
I don't-
Gladish was playing it, and he had apparently, like, I was telling him, like, you really should play the other ones. He had never played any of them, and I was like, oh man.
That's a bummer of
Yeah,
an
but he was saying,
introduction.
like, if they ever re-release those, you would definitely play those, and that would be. I mean, they're
They
sitting on a gold mine with that because
They're all
I could still easily play through all three of them again multiple times.
they're all backwards compatible on the Xbone, right?
I think so.
yeah,
Yeah,
But
but it would be nice
just
to get
nicer ones that load fast, and I don't have to
Totally.
hear the CD-ROM
Yeah.
spinning up all the time. Well, I guess I don't on the Xbone, but
Yeah,
yeah, it would just be nice to have, like, they could leave the graphics pretty much the same, just upscale the shit,
yeah. No,
make it
Totally.
crispy.
I agree, but I'm bummed. I'll still probably pick this up when it's super cheap and I have nothing else to do. But
Yeah,
I
wow.
have a wealth of things to do.
You have a
so-
wealth of other games to play that you've picked up.
Yep.
I just feel like the whole game was just a giant cash grab, and didn't really like. I feel like
It I think it was a product of the idea that they're like, hey, we have a franchise here that everybody loves and mostly wants to see more of. And I don't think they figured out what the right way to continue that series was. Because I agree. There should not have been any more Commander Shepard. I don't think they should have continued his story. I don't think they should
Yeah,
have done
that
a
arc
prequel.
was done.
I think they could have left that the way that it was.
See,
Going
I feel
to a
like-
completely different galaxy was a good move.
Yes.
I feel like that universe, like that story, everything, all parts considered, would have made a pretty good MMO of sorts, as opposed to like making
I don't
Andromeda.
know.
So Zach says, I'm a Mass Effect fanboy, and I can even admit to how disappointing it was. The combat was better, and Mass Effect 1 style exploration only fleshed out was way better, but everything else fell short. I was a huge Mass Effect fanboy, too. Like, I fucking loved Mass Effect.
This is a great
Yes.
game.
Like, if I had a job at the
They're all
time when the
great.
first game came out, I would have bought an Xbox for that game because
Yeah.
I was so excited for it.
It's pretty much
But-
why I got an Xbox. It was that
Exactly.
and Gears of War.
So, but this, like, Andromeda just totally killed it for me. Like, and I think I said in our like review of it that I would have wanted the Garrison C-Sec story more than I would have wanted. Like, if they made a 5-hour here's Garrus walking around the Citadel solving crimes as a detective.
That'd
Oh my
be-
God, that
that'd
sounds
be a good
awesome.
VR experience.
I would totally rather have that than what they did here, but I think there's a good Mass Effect game to be made at some point in the future.
Oh yeah, for
They just-
sure.
Should let it breathe and come back to it later and figure out the DNA of that game and see where they need to take it from here. Because, like, they need to make a calculated... And here's the thing is that this game has been it was in development for also, like, 3 years, 4 years, something like that. Like, it had a long enough development time, but it just got bogged down in frostbite issues
Yeah.
because...
Yeah, I feel like it was rushed though in terms of like from when they announced it to when it came out. Like I feel like that was a very short amount of time.
I think they like something must have forced them to pivot, or they just did not put a lot of thought into it
Yeah.
and figured it was going to sell or something. And they just something caused a lot of late game decisions that ultimately made it a not great game.
Right.
So, yeah. Gladish did say I would buy the old Mass Effect games if they re-released it. Yeah, I would be down to get a. I would be down if they just updated the PC versions with controller support. If they did that, that would be
cool.
that would be nice. But
Isn't it? I thought just the first one doesn't have controller.
Yeah.
support.
well, if they could
so.
update the first one with controller support, then I would go ahead and buy those on Origin. But anyway, that was it for my my other news. The other things we could briefly speak about, there have been some Splatoon updates. There are new maps that are already here or coming for both Salmon Run and for the other competitive modes. There's also a new weapon. There's several new weapons since we last spoke. And then the next Splatfest is this weekend. Next
Flying
weekend
versus invisibility.
Yes, it's flying versus invisibility. We had this discussion, but where did we all come out with
Invisibility.
Invisibility is a much better superpower than flying.
What
Yeah.
do you think, listeners?
that? Yeah, please let us know what you would want to be. Zach saying one more. He says Andromeda was proven to be developed by BioWare's B team. Most of that B team were rookie game devs and far fewer in general than the A team. What was the A team working on?
I know, but yeah, why would they
let's play
pass
that
such a?
Oh, they were all working on Anthem, right? Probably.
Yeah.
He says BioWare's A team came in the last year to help move things along with how many struggles the B team was having, which led to the mess we ultimately have. That totally makes sense. But it's just a bummer all around, you know?
Yes.
Yeah, so the Splatoon 2 Splatfest, the next Splatfest is going to be on the day that is known as, why is this? It's September 1st and 2nd, so it is this weekend. It'll be the Saturday, essentially,
Cool.
in Eastern time zone. So,
Play
Well-
Splatfest on my birthday.
yeah, we'll have to hop on and play some Splatfest. But yeah, that's about it. So I put Uncharted next on the docket. It's just going to be me talking to you guys about Uncharted for a little while. But Naughty Dog released Uncharted: The Lost Legacy, The Lost Legacy, which was meant to be single-player DLC for Uncharted 4. However, they basically started making it, and they made too much of a game. So they decided to release it as a standalone standalone piece of content. So it focuses on Chloe, who was introduced in Uncharted 2, and Nadine Ross, who was a villain in the 4th Uncharted game. And it's them working together to find some like a storied piece of like artifact in India, and the whole game takes place in India, which is new for an Uncharted game, that it just sticks to like one locale. It took me about 8 hours to finish. I did finish it. I played it on a PlayStation 4 Pro, so I got to play it in 4K HDR, and it is even more gorgeous than Uncharted 4 was. But Uncharted 4 has since received 4K and HDR update, so I'm sure it looks fantastic as well. But it's a lot more Uncharted. It's more of the same. It's puzzles that you're used to. It's combat that sometimes is very punishing and unfair and stupid. But all in all, like, I think
It's gorgeous.
I think they've only
Yeah.
gotten better at telling stories with Uncharted games. And I think this is a great, no spoilers here really, but I think this is a great proof of concept that you don't need Nathan Drake in an Uncharted game. Like, I think Uncharted can survive without Nathan Drake because this game's fucking awesome. Like, the journey that you go on, like, Nadine and Chloe aren't best friends when this game starts. They're just
doing
Chloe-
things.
Chloe's hired Nadine to work for her to help her
Gotcha.
in finding this artifact. And the ways that their relationship changes throughout the entire 8-9 hours of story that's here, it's awesome to see them grow closer and to find the dramatic tensions between them. And it's a fantastic. There's a moment in this game with Chloe alone, well, with both of them really, that resonates better than most of the movies that I've seen in theaters this year.
This is just a YouTube playthrough, right?
Yeah, this is just the footage that they put out.
So it's not spoilery.
No, this is when you first get into what is essentially the open world part of the game. There's like a small open world segment.
It's like a hub kind of thing.
It's kind of you're there to go and accomplish, like, there's 3 fortresses that you need to like start up fountains in. But then there's a bunch of other little puzzles and things that you can do to find treasures and stuff like that, like you would normally do in those games. But
How difficult would it be for us to put you playing up there? Like we need to like capture video and like use our own playthroughs as part of our
I mean, we could
segments like this.
we
I
could
feel like.
certainly do that. But I like the idea of me talking to it is kind of difficult.
No, I just
but-
mean like. Never mind. We'll talk about this.
Yeah,
we'll
that's
talk about this later.
some inside
but
baseball. But
yeah.
regardless, there were times where the combat just really frustrated me. They try to make this game more stealth accessible, and it worked in Uncharted 4, but for some reason in this game, I don't know if I've just gotten impatient in the past year, and I'm in my old age, but it was difficult for me to
sucker punch.
effectively play this game in a stealthy manner.
I find it highly unlikely she would open that giant container and only found a silent pistol. A silenced pistol is like the only usable thing in that container.
Well,
That's-
you have to
that's true.
suspend believability a bit when you
Yeah,
play these games.
They can't give you all the good weapons.
They could have just made a smaller
Except
box.
for The Last of Us, you actually find things where they should be.
Sometimes when you open up those chests, they've got like a C4 thing and a rocket launcher in it, or a grenade launcher.
I mean,
but-
clearly this is some sort of paramilitary
Group.
organization, so they probably have boxes full of silenced
But-
guns everywhere.
Anyway, we should stop talking to the video since
Yeah.
we have a lot of
Anyways.
people who listen to us without the video. It's really good, and I think it's totally worth the $31.99 you'd pay for it with Gamers Club Unlocked, because they did do a physical disc release of this.
Okay.
But if you did have the season pass for Uncharted 4, you get this included with it. You don't have to pay anything.
Free.
The game does come with the multiplayer that Uncharted 4 has, so you get all access to all of the Uncharted 4 multiplayer.
Oh, interesting.
There's also like a horde survival mode that you can play with
Cool.
friends, co-op if you'd like to. So there's a lot of
I-
value packed into a $39.99 package.
I have a question.
Yep.
Would someone be doing a disservice to themselves by playing this game having not played the other Uncharted games?
This is the most standalone game that there is in the series since the first one. So I think you would be able to play through this and have a good time. That being said, I don't think it will have as much emotional resonance as it
Gotcha.
did with me if you have not played through at least Uncharted 4.
Well,
if not.
Because
He who cries at video
because
games.
Nadine is in Uncharted 4, if I played this before playing Uncharted 4, would it spoil anything for me?
I mean, only in the fact that you know that Nadine is in it. So,
Okay.
like, I don't know. That's not a big deal.
I'm just curious because
I think, if anything, like,
it might be nice to play a very nice looking Uncharted game that I don't have to play through all the other ones to play.
if you started
first.
with Uncharted 4, I think
I have
that
heard
would
that
be
it still
okay.
makes perfect sense.
it's not a hard story to pick up. It all makes sense. But the entire journey of all of the characters from Uncharted 1 to Uncharted Lost Legacy is phenomenal. Like, it only gets better with each game.
Okay.
So I think it's worth going back to Uncharted 1
Yeah.
in that
I have
Nathan
the
Drake
collection, but I just
I
haven't
yeah,
gotten
I
around to
understand.
it.
I understand. But it's
too much PUBG. Stupid.
even if you just put them, if you put the games down to easy and just played through them that way, that's probably the best way to do it, because the stories are
I played about
extremely
an
enjoyable.
hour of the first one, and it was fine. It actually looks pretty good still.
Yeah, no, the upresing that they did with that collection is also very good. But Uncharted: The Lost Legacy is fantastic. Definitely worth picking up or checking to see if you got it for free with your deluxe edition purchase or whatever they have out there, if you have the season pass in some form. But it's really good, and like I said, I got 8 hours out of the main story. That was with 50 something out of 64 treasures found. So there's still room for me to go back and play it again. There's a lot of trophies. The trophies are separate from Uncharted 4, so you can still platinum Uncharted 4 or this alone. But no, it's fantastic. It's
Cool.
really, really good. And I'm I'm sad that Naughty Dog is saying this is their last Uncharted game. But I'm interested to see what they can do with
the
a new
engine
property.
and yeah.
Yeah, because we are getting
Imagine if they did a sci-fi game
we are getting
with their level of storytelling.
we're getting The Last of Us Part 2, which I'm sure will be great. It's not necessarily something that I asked for after
No,
after
that game
The
was
Last of
totally
Us.
fine the way it was,
But,
but I would gladly play more.
Yeah, well, developers don't want to take too many risks with new IPs, you know? It's the
And-
same reason we end up with a bunch of sequels and remakes.
Yeah.
It depends, though. I mean, like a developer like them, I think people will buy whatever they put out just based on their experiences with their other games.
Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, they're going to have a cult following now, no matter what.
Unfortunately, I mean, I kind of felt that way about BioWare for a long time, but they've kind of burned me with the last couple.
Yeah. So
Yeah, but they're going to make up for that with Andromeda. Or not
For
Andromeda.
Anthem.
Yeah, wow,
We'll
stupid
see.
A names.
So yeah, I'm intrigued to see what they'll do next, but I wonder if Sony's going to pass Uncharted along to somebody else to do something with, or what they're gonna do with Uncharted in the future.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be sad if they're like, we're not gonna touch it until PlayStation 5 at this point.
Yep.
But we'll see. So
Cool.
the other game that we have been playing, Brian
you-
and I have been
You
playing.
guys, yeah.
Sadly, none of the videos I played.
Sadly, not
showed
as
up
much
on
as
the,
I was hoping to by the time we reviewed it.
Sonic Mania came out on the PlayStation 4 and Xbox, and it's going to be out soon on the PC,
Yeah.
and it's also out on the Nintendo Switch. We both played it on the Switch.
Yes. I as soon as I found out that it was coming out soon, I was like, I want this game for my Switch because
Mhm.
this is exactly the kind of game I like to play in handheld mode.
Mm-hmm.
Because the 3D games, I struggle with using the lower right stick.
Yep.
A lot.
There's
it
no
just,
right
like,
stick in
cramps
this
my
game.
hand up. Yeah. So games like this and like Shovel Knight and stuff like that. Shovel Knight's hard enough to where I like using the Pro Controller better,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's good for the Switch.
So, Brian, were you a fan of Sonic from before?
Yeah. I played through 1 and 2 multiple times.
Yeah.
Played a little bit of Sonic 3, and I think Sonic 3 and Knuckles,
Sonic
or
and
whatever the hell
Knuckles,
it was.
Did you religiously watch the cartoon?
No.
The Jaleel White cartoon,
Because Alex did.
the first Jaleel White cartoon where Sonic really wants Coney dogs.
I missed Sonic CD, which I hear a lot of fans say is one of the better ones, if not the
Yeah.
best. But I have that on PC. I picked it up for like $1 or something one day, and I hear the PC one's actually the best one anyways.
Probably, yeah.
The specific one that I picked up on Steam is there's multiple iterations of it on PC that you can get.
Which
But,
it might have been made or like retooled by the guy who made Sonic Mania.
Possibly.
Christian Whitehead is his name.
But yeah, I've played
So-
some Sonic in my day. Oh, Sonic Spinball as well. I
Okay.
really liked Sonic Spinball. It was awesome.
So you were a Sonic fan, but you didn't make it into the 3D generation with Sonic.
No, I had no interest in that,
Yeah.
to be honest.
So how did you? And I'll say we owned Sonic 1 and Sonic and Knuckles, and I had 2 Sonic Game Gear games, and I liked them. I never got past the second level in any of them because I was young and I was bad at it and
Yeah.
I didn't get it, and it was hard for me. But I was glad to have another shot at being good at Sonic with Sonic Mania. But Brian, how did you feel about Sonic Mania?
I thought I was pretty decent at Sonic, but apparently I'm not anymore. I did fine in the first, like as soon as I loaded it up, it starts with the, what is it, Diamond Hill Zone? Or
Green Hill Zone.
Green Hill Zone, sorry. Which is a total throwback to the old game.
Just to speak a little bit, there are several new stages, but there are
Yes.
also old stages in which the Act 1 of that stage is relatively similar to some of the
Yeah,
parts of the
and the
original
music,
stages and the
but
music.
it's like a better version of the music.
Yeah.
Basically.
Act 2 takes more liberties and does different things with mechanics and music and boss fights
cool.
and everything like that.
That's a cool way to do things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there is a boss fight at the end of every single act.
Yes.
So there are a lot of bosses in this game.
Yeah, but
And
some of them
there's a lot of variety to them. And
yes.
like the one that I've come up to within the last, like in the early part of the game, which is the only part of the game I've gone through, was just brilliant. But I don't want to spoil it for
Yeah, I
anybody.
don't want to spoil it either. But the chemical plant zone Act 2 boss.
Yeah. It was
Thumbs
really
up.
easy though.
Yeah, totally. But no, it's great.
Yeah, the music is awesome. I forgot how much I like the music. It's just super cool.
All
And
about
then
the
I found
chemical
out that
plant
they're
zone.
making an LP, a vinyl version of the soundtrack.
Yep.
And I think I might have to pick that up.
Is it going to be 8-bit style or 16-bit style like that?
I don't know.
Well, it's not like
It might have a lot of stuff on it because it's like a. I think it's 4 records.
It would just be really funny to listen to this like all bit crushed music on a vinyl.
Well, I've
like,
listened to the It Follows soundtrack on
which
vinyl.
is
Yeah,
mostly
Mostly, like-
if not all bit crushed of
I
some
like that
sort.
soundtrack.
Yeah, and it's great. So I would totally be down. But even this is like a lot of the music is 16-bit, but it's like pseudo 16-bit.
Yeah.
It's like there are a lot of features to it that are not something that would be possible on the Genesis.
I just like the 16-bit drums.
I mean,
They're
well,
funny.
So yeah, it looks and plays like Sonic. It
Mhm.
feels great. There are things that I've kind of forgotten about Sonic that I didn't like and I'm not reminded, is that I just don't care for levels that slow everything down, that make you have to platform like a traditional platformer.
Yeah,
Like
no,
Sonic is its
was about
best.
speed.
Yeah,
when
if
you're
you
racing through a level,
have a general idea how to get through a level, and you can kind of plan it out in your head, like I'm going to get here fast. But then I got through the first 3 zones, and I got to this flying battery zone, and that's where I'm stuck right now because I just get frustrated
yeah,
because like every time you try to move more than like 2 screens ahead, you accidentally hit a spike or a flame or a fucking hole in the ground.
This game has a lot of the cheap Sonic shots that
Yeah,
there can
But
be
in
in
that
Sonic.
that level, it's just like all of them in one level constantly, and then they have some cool mechanics too, but they're difficult to use in conjunction with all that other stuff going on.
right.
Like they have a magnetized type thing where you get like a lightning shield or whatever.
Yeah, they have the
And
lightning shields in Sonic 3, I think. And
well,
then,
it like
in that level.
magnetizes you to the ceiling every once in a while,
yeah.
which is like really cool, but also a pain in the ass.
Because there's a bunch of spikes on the ceiling.
Yes. But I mean, overall, it's fun. I really wanted to try out the competitive mode
mode, yeah.
beforehand because I used to play Sonic 2 competitive mode with my cousin like all the time. We loved playing that, like where you'd race through the levels.
Yeah,
There is a save system. It only takes you back to the beginning of the
Whatever
zone.
stage
Yeah,
you
that's
started
why
in.
that is why I'm stuck because I was sloppy trying to race through the game thinking I was the shit like early on, and then I didn't realize because I'm like, it's a modern game and there's a save slot. I'll be fine if I lose all my lives. Well, now I'm stuck with 3 lives at the beginning of that. And
Flying battery
like,
zone.
I
Yep.
keep screwing up in stupid ways and get frustrated.
Just stop screwing up in stupid ways.
Get good at Sonic.
Yeah.
If you die in Act 2, you will go back to the beginning of Act 1 of that zone.
Yes.
So-
I'm really sick of that zone.
Yeah. But there's a lot of things where like there's sliding blocks where if you get caught on them the right way, then it immediately kills you, and that
Yep.
still fucking sucks. Like it's the worst. There is a water level that is the worst level in this game because you have to keep finding the air bubbles to breathe, and I've hated that mechanic.
Yeah,
But all of that being said, I did finish the game. I did not. So there are special stages. One of them is the normal blue sphere. Like if you have enough rings and you hit a checkpoint, you can jump through the stars in order to hit all of the blue spheres, which then gives you a coin that you can collect all of the coins and you get something. I don't know yet.
I was never a fan of that.
They're terrible.
I don't like it.
I don't like them.
Especially when you accidentally hit one of those bumpers
Yeah.
and you're going backwards.
Yep.
and then you're like, shit, I need to figure out how to go backwards into a bumper again so I
Yep.
can go
Well,
forward.
you can actually hit the forward button, and it will make you go forward again.
What?
Yes.
I didn't-
I don't know if that was true for the original games, but it is for this one.
Oh.
So, pro
Well, that
tip.
makes it a lot easier.
Pro tip, hit forward to go forward. But
I have not successfully finished one of those.
I finished maybe 4 or 5 of them successfully, and that was about it. But then there's also, you can find a large ring, like a large 3D ring in the
it's
stages. And when you jump into it, it takes you to like a Sonic R type stage where you are racing this UFO carrying a Chaos Emerald.
That's okay. I've only done one of them, I think, so far.
You
but-
get as much time, like each ring that you have counts as a second, and you can collect more rings in the stage. You also collect blue orbs to go faster to actually catch up to the emerald. But yeah, those are fun. And also, if you collect all 7 Chaos Emeralds, then the final boss fight is extended. There's another boss.
It's a true ending.
Yeah.
Nice.
I did not get to that. But I did finish the game after getting stuck on several different things, and I feel extremely accomplished.
Did you have problems with the flying battery one at all?
I think I died a couple times, but I didn't.
There's like one spot I keep getting to, and I don't even know where I'm supposed to go.
I had more trouble with the water level, and then there's an oil slick zone or something.
Oh, that sounds
and
horrible.
And a few of those bosses towards the end of the game get pretty fucking hard, and if you don't know how to beat them, it's like I had to look up the trick to a few of them because I just did not understand. But it's really, really good. Like, it's a $20 Sonic game that has like 13 zones in it, and it's a lot of fun. Like, I had a great time playing it. It feels like Sonic. It feels like what Sonic should be. I don't think they should try and make any more 3D Sonics. They should just make more
agree.
of these. Like, they should do like a Mega Man 9 and 10 kind of thing with it and just put out new Sonic games that are 2D by Christian Whitehead, because he's good at it. And he was good at coming up with new ways to transport Sonic around the level. Like, there's a thing in the Chemical Plant Zone Act 2
Yeah.
where you have these plungers that are in like the water baths that you'll find, the chemical baths, and if you hit the plunger, it'll turn that bath into like a rubbery substance that you can bounce in, like you'll bounce higher off of it, and like you can make it even like different colors to bounce even higher than the previous one. So like seeing him add in new mechanics to the old stages is awesome, and I feel like he would be great to make new stages with new stuff like he did with the it's like Studio Zone or something like that, Cinema Zone. I can't remember exactly what it's called, but
I think it's Studiopolis or something.
Studiopolis. But they should just make Sonic games like this from now on. Although I'm intrigued by Sonic Forces, but I don't think I'm gonna buy it. I think I'm just gonna see people talk or hear people talk about it. But
Did this make you want to bust out the Genesis?
it kind of, yeah. Like,
Or are you waiting for your Barney and Friends hide and seek remake Mania?
It makes me want to play my Sonic CD.
I'm not hoping for that.
I have on Steam
Yeah.
already.
I was very tempted to pull out my Game Gear and try to play those Sonic games.
Yeah, those are even harder.
Yeah, they
I
are.
played some of the first one, but I don't.
It's
Yeah,
not a
I don't really
fantastic
remember it.
experience, but
Nah.
it's still I still had a good time with it.
Well,
But
now
I-
you have it on Switch.
Yeah, and
You
it's
bring Sonic with you.
it's pretty awesome, and I hope, like, I don't know yet, but there should be some kind of level select, and I just want to play the Chemical Plant Zone over and over again because that music is the shit.
Well, you can go into
Competitive
beat
mode.
them. You can go into race mode.
Oh
or
yeah,
whatever.
the time attack.
trials.
Yeah. So there's time attack, and there's also the competitive mode that Brian
Yeah.
talked about to give you a little bit more stuff to play with in the $20.
As far as I can tell, I mean that looks like it's only local.
creator like? Is the character creator like pretty elaborate?
There's no character creator.
Shit.
There is in the other Sonic game coming out this year.
You get to make your
Well,
own
I
Sonic
mean,
character.
Sonic,
That's kinda cool.
Knuckles, and Tails are in the game,
Yes.
but I don't actually know how to play the other ones.
Tails.
Yeah, but I
want
want to make my own Sonic character named Balls.
Tails. You can fly. You know, it plays a
on.
lot like Sonic, but he flies.
Yeah,
And-
no, but I mean, I don't know like how to select them as playable.
Oh, you just once you exit out of the game, like if you were to quit after getting
That joke was
Like, if you-
shut down
yeah,
so hard.
If you start a new game, like if you go to start a new game, then you can hit up or down. And so you can play as Sonic and Tails, where you get the classic Tails that's
That's what
following
I've been
behind.
doing, yeah.
And then you can play as Sonic, Tails, or Knuckles.
or balls.
But yeah, it's a fantastic
It's a lot of
Sonic game.
replayability there.
There's a lot of replayability. I don't know. Like, I tried to play as Knuckles. I used to play Sonic and Knuckles as Knuckles exclusively because Knuckles
it's
is
Knuckles.
awesome.
He's
Yeah.
he could fly
Yep.
for one, and he had the fist thing where he could like climb walls and
Yep.
shit.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
why would anybody ever want to play anything else? Tails
He's
sucks.
kind like playing him in this. I like Sonic more now
Yeah.
for some reason. Like, he just feels better than I do.
Tails wasn't really all
better.
that fun except for the tail, like
Yeah.
that mechanic of being able to fly.
Well, and
sometimes.
if you do the Sonic and Tails, then you can
You can do the
hop
grab.
up and
That's cool.
Tails will grab you and you can fly that way if you need to get around a little bit. But it's really good. It's really inventive. It's
the way a
certainly-
remake should be made, or like, would you want to call this a remake or like a
It's-
reimagining, or like what do you call it?
I
Like,
hope that this, like, I watched, I think, the Digital Foundry video or something about this, and the guy threw a ton of shade at Nintendo because of the AM2R, the Metroid 2 remake, and how they shut it down. Because this guy, Christian Whitehead, was sitting there like, I'm going to recreate Sonic's CD for the PC. He's like, I just want to figure out how to make this game.
yeah,
And they saw that and were like, hey, do you want to do that for like some iPhone releases of the old games? And he was like, sure. So then he put out these really, really good iPhone ports of the Sonic games for what an iPhone port can be of a
Right.
game like this. And then they're like, hey, do you want to make an actual new Sonic game? And he was like, uh-huh. And then he made Sonic Mania. Nintendo needs to let people do that with Metroid. Like, they should, like, obviously Metroid Samus Returns or whatever was probably in the works when AM2R came out, but they should be talking to those guys and being like, hey, come do something like this for a new Metroid game. Give us a new 2D Metroid game.
right.
Because there are people out there that get Metroid, like, they understand it. Like, they understand these franchises very well.
'Cause
More so
it's
than
the game they grew up on. It's what they love. It's what they enjoy about gaming, and they want to just make their own version of it
Yeah.
yes.
with with all of the same nostalgic factors of the originals, but with a different take on it as to things that, since they've played the game a million times front and back, left and right, they've got ideas of what they think might work best.
Yeah.
Or new things to add that'll improve gameplay, blah, blah, blah.
And a lot of the time, the people who originally made these games have moved on. Like, they don't necessarily, like, care to go and make a new Metroid, which I get it. But
Right.
there are people out there that will do something like that. I would love to see. I hope this sparks Konami being like, hey, you love Castlevania. Come make a new 2D Castlevania for us.
Yeah.
Like, that would be awesome if that's what comes out of this, because this game is fantastic. It's worth the $20. It seems to be selling well. People like it a lot. So I think that's awesome, and I hope more people.
It beats a bunch of
Take
Neo
note of
Geo
this.
ports, that's for sure.
Yeah. Zach says it almost goes back to talking about Dota and mod leading to what it is and DayZ leading to what it has. So, like, the idea that, there's people out there that are able to take chances and workshop it.
Right.
Like, that's a good way to do things.
For sure.
The other thing I did hear, and I'm almost tempted to rebuy the game, is that it does have PS4 Pro support, which sounds stupid, but the idea that you will get 2160p Sonic in pixel perfect representation on a TV is awesome. And apparently it's at 60 frames, of course, because why wouldn't it be? And I don't think the Switch version isn't. Like, it plays pretty well. I don't know if you had this problem, but I get a delay when I hit the home button.
Yeah, there is a known home bug.
Yeah.
Home.
Apparently some people don't
Home
have that
button bug.
issue, but some people do.
Yeah, I have it.
Yeah. So, and that kind of sucked. But other than that, the game performs perfectly fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
But I'm kind of curious to see it on a PlayStation 4 Pro. So if it goes on sale on a flash sale, I might pick it up again.
Yeah.
But, no, it's really good. There were a lot of good games this week, and I beat them both.
Got a couple more coming next week.
Yeah,
You didn't beat StarCraft Remastered.
I did not beat StarCraft
It takes
Remastered
forever.
yet. Yeah, that'll take longer
With
than
Brood War. It
Yeah.
comes with that as well.
Yes, it does.
All of it's
Um,
worth playing through, though.
I did pre-order Mario and Rabbids. I also pre-ordered Destiny 2 and Super Mario Odyssey in the same fell swoop from Best Buy because you do get $10 rewards.
I knew there must have been a catch because he
You
was
get a-
very anti-pre-order.
You get a
last
$10
episode.
reward for Destiny 2, or and you also get a $10 reward for Super Mario Odyssey. So
But
I
nothing
figured
for Rabbids?
not for Rabbids, no.
The hell?
They do have if you buy a figurine, because they're not making amiibos for Mario and Rabbids, which they should be, but they're basically
Aw.
making amiibos that you can buy. If you buy that with the game from Best Buy, then you can get a cap it's a Mario cap with the Rabbids ears on it.
Yeah.
But there's no $10 bonus for those.
I'm tempted to cancel my Amazon pre-order of Destiny and just do it over Sony.
That's the thing.
You
I
don't get
can't.
anything extra
Yeah.
through Sony.
No, I know, but
I did it that way.
But
just
he's never
because
gonna. He doesn't want to have to go and take the disc out.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I don't want to remove the disc at all. So
That's not worth $20 to me.
For how much that we've played the game, I'd say it actually is. I got mad every time I had to remove that disc. I swear.
That's fine, but I mean, I can get the
Plus,
$10.
it makes more noise.
I get the $12 off with Gamers Club Unlocked, and then I get $10 back. So I can't pass that up. I can't buy.
yeah,
that game
well, I mean, it's
digitally.
also like a preload thing because like when it releases, I can load it first thing in the morning or whatever and get it up and running, so it's
Yeah,
ready
that's
to go by the
true.
time I get done with work.
That's true, but I don't know.
It's not really worth the extra money to me either, but I don't know. Just an internal debate I've had.
I will probably just pick it up at Best Buy, run home at lunch, put it in there just to install and download any patches,
Yeah.
and then whatever. Zach says, who knows how far off it is, but you guys should check out the Monster Hunter World footage from Gamescom. I love the Monster Hunter series, and they seem to be going all out with this one. Zach, I've heard that Monster Hunter is a game that you need a Sherpa to bring you into, and I think you need to Sherpa
we
the
just
three
found
of
our
us
Sherpa.
into Monster Hunter, because I feel like with how much we've enjoyed God, what is the game that I'm thinking of?
Every game we've ever played.
I don't know.
with
Yeah,
Zach,
like
period.
like all the materials and this game Monster Hunter is all grinding, and you guys love Destiny, so we should probably play this game.
Right.
There's no reason that we wouldn't like it. So,
It's not all about the grind.
we'll have to consider picking that up.
It
when
looks
comes out.
interesting to me. I haven't watched the Gamescom footage yet.
Yeah, I haven't watched anything yet. It looked
Gamescom
really
is
cool.
something we probably should have talked about a bit. But
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah. Zach says, did you ever play Phantasy Star Online? I didn't really.
No, not at all. I read about it.
Yeah. But
Uh,
I would be willing to check out Monster Hunter World.
Yeah, for
especially
sure.
with Zach at the helm.
How are we going to run the next episode? I know we had talked about possibly giving D2 a full episode.
People will have to stay tuned. I think maybe we will probably just try to do a Mario and Rabbids episode next week as a
Okay.
bonus, and then we can do just the full Destiny stuff.
I'm not sure I'm going to 100% that I'm going to pick up Mario and Rabbids too, so you can maybe do it without me.
Okay, we'll see.
We'll figure it out.
But yeah, no, I don't know. Stay tuned. We'll let you know.
What else is up with the network?
There's a new episode of the Midwest Film Nerds podcast that came out yesterday. We talked about The Dark Tower and pretty much every other movie that we've seen in 2017.
Must
About
have
how
been a
long is that?
one.
Yeah, how long is that
It's
episode?
like 2 hours and 13 minutes long. So
I bet you made all your old fans really happy.
I've gotten tweets from all of them, and they're all very
I saw the
happy,
ones from
for
you.
sure.
I
Yeah.
saw those pop up.
Gordon messaged me. David Steele liked it. Matt Hurt from the Obsessive Viewer podcast also retweeted us and had some nice things to say. So
Cool.
Awesome.
Gone to Texas, episode 11 is going to air tomorrow, and then we're going to record on Tuesday. So that's going to be wrapping up the second week of September. But I will be going to Japan after that, so our season wrap up will probably be 2 weeks later.
Yep.
But other than that, Horror Movie Yearbook just did a George Romero retrospective. Rest in
I
peace,
just
George.
had that pop up on my feed. I will have to listen to that.
It's very good, even as somebody who isn't very well versed in George Romero. They talk about a lot of his lesser known movies and also movies that he was supposed to make but didn't end up coming to fruition, including his script for the Resident Evil movie, which Willie's the biggest Resident Evil fan that I know, and he raves about that
probably
script.
would have been amazing.
They wanted to do it, but apparently it was too expensive. They couldn't justify it. He did end up, and this is a fun fact that I learned from Horror Movie Yearbook. He did end up directing a commercial for Resident Evil 2. So that's awesome. That's awesome. I never knew that. And they also talk a little bit about he was working on another video game, like an actual video game. But it didn't end up coming out. But there's some video game stuff in this week's Horror Movie Yearbook, so please go check it out. It is quite good.
Interesting.
Right on. Well, as always, we would appreciate your feedback at MidwestGameNerds@gmail.com. And don't forget to follow us on Twitch as well as rate and review us on your favorite podcatcher. Don't forget, if you want to follow us on social media or see all the places you can listen to or watch the show, check out MidwestGameNerds.com/links. Again, we're not sure how we're going to do the next couple episodes here. Definitely going to cover some Mario vs. Rabbids, Mario plus Rabbids.
Yes.
And Destiny 2 is a definite. And I'm sure there's a handful of other games that are being completely masked over. I think Knack 2 comes out the same day as Destiny.
Knack 2 is coming out the same week as Destiny. It's the day before.
There's a lot of stuff that's happening now. We're getting a really, really good fall game.
None of us played the first Knack, so I don't know if we're going to touch on that one.
So far, I have a knack for not playing those games, so I might just continue that.
Zach says, Alex, you're going to raid. God damn it. We'll see about that.
Yeah, you're going to raid in D2. We'll make you. But anyways.
You guys can carry my lifeless body through the raid.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. That's fine. Thanks again, everybody, for listening and watching along, especially those on Twitch like Zach and Gladish on YouTube. We really appreciate you guys joining us. And, we'll see you guys next time around. Peace.